Welcome to KnightBusTour number 2 of the first book in the Potter series, The Philosopher's Stone. Let's hop on and I'll give you a little background. Hagrid needs to take Harry on a shopping spree for some very unique items so that he can be prepared for his first session at Hogwarts School of Wizardry and Witchcraft. But entering the wizarding world is not all that easy. They have made their way to a small back street in a modest neighborhood of London.
"Well, here we are," said Hagrid. "The Leaky Cauldron. It's famous, you know, Harry."
Hagrid opened the door, and Harry got a peek inside. It was kind of a run-down-looking little place. The passers-by paid it no notice whatsoever. As a matter of fact, Harry got the strange feeling that nobody but he and Hagrid could tell it was even there. He was about to mention this when Hagrid moved in through the door. Harry paused a moment, looking in through the open doorway. Over at the bar, there was a little old man wearing a top hat. He was talking to the grizzled bartender, who looked a bit tired, but friendly enough. As he stepped closer, he could see that there were others in the place scattered about. The chattering continued as they walked in. They all knew Hagrid and gave him a little wave as he entered. Harry spotted a few old women sitting over in one corner. They were drinking a variety of beverages from varying-sized glasses. One of them had a long smoking pipe sticking out from between her teeth. The old bartender gave a friendly nod to Harry, then reached for a glass.
"I'll get you the usual there, Hagrid." "Nope, not now, Tom. Official Hogwarts business," said Hagrid, as he smacked his hand firmly on the top of the counter, making the glasses bounce.
"Oh, my heavens," said the bartender, and he leaned over to study Harry. "Is this... Are you... Yes, it is. Yes, it is," croaked the old bartender. "It's Harry Potter. My. What a day! What a day!" He held out both hands toward Harry. "So glad you are here, Mr. Potter. Welcome back. Welcome back." Harry was completely taken by surprise. Everyone had stopped what they were doing and had turned toward Harry. Some came forward in greeting. Hagrid stepped back so they could all get a good look. There were huge grins on all their faces. The old man in the top hat stood up and came around toward Harry.
"Absolutely delighted, Mr. Potter. Delighted. Diggle's the name. Daedalus Diggle."
He had removed his hat and was now holding it respectfully as he spoke. Seeing him standing like that, without the hat, triggered a memory in Harry. I think I remember seeing you before," said Harry. "You bowed to me once in a shop."
"Oh, my! Oh, my! He remembers me!" exclaimed Daedalus Diggle as he looked around for acknowledgment. "Did you all hear that? He remembers me!"
Hagrid raised his umbrella in salute. A woman got up from a nearby table and approached Harry. She was very excited.
"My name is Doris Crockford, Mr. Potter. I cannot believe that I'm finally getting to meet you."
She looked as though she was about to embrace him in a huge hug when there came the sound of scraping chairs and hurried movement. Harry found himself surrounded and shaking hands with everyone in the place.
"Oh, Mr. Potter, I'm so very pleased and proud." Please, let me shake your hand, Mr. Potter. Oh, my, we'll remember this day, yes."
Harry shook more hands and shook them again. Doris Crockford circled around for more, still trying for that hug. Then a pale, slender young man edged his way forward. He seemed very nervous. One eye kept twitching as he approached.
"Hello, Potter. I'm Professor Quirrell."
he stuttered. "You'll be in one of my classes at Hogwarts."
"What do you teach, Professor?" asked Harry.
Defense against the dark arts," he mumbled, almost in a whisper. He acted like he would just as soon not be talking about it. "I suppose you'll be picking up your supplies soon. I've just received this book on vampires for my class." He looked at the book he was holding with distaste and seemed to tremble even more at that thought. "Well, I'd best be going," he said. "I'll see you in class, Potter." And with that, he hurried away. Given the opening, the rest of the crowd surged in again. Everybody wanted to get closer. The bartender even brought over a big bird cage so that Harry could meet Leaky, the house raven. It was almost 10 minutes before Hagrid could pull Harry away. "We better move along now. Lots to do. Let's go, Harry." Harry was finally released again by Doris Crawford. They gradually eased their way through a door and out toward a small walled courtyard containing a couple of trash cans and some scattered weeds. Harry was still a little stunned. "You're handling this all very well, Harry," said Hagrid. And then he bent down to put himself on Harry's level. Harry started to relax a bit. "So there you are, Harry. Told you was famous." He chuckled and he said, "Even Professor Quirrell got the shakes when he met you, but he's usually trembling anyways." "Is he always nervous like that?" "Sorry to say that he is, poor fella. Brilliant, you know. He's fine when he's with his books and all. Then he took some time off to get some real-life experience, I guess. I heard he met some vampires in the Black Forest, and then there was that nasty run-in he had with a hag. Ugh." He shuddered at that image as he reached for his umbrella. "He's scared of everything now, it seems." Harry's head was spinning. Vampires? Hags? Hagrid faced the bricks along the arch in the courtyard, and he looked closely at the patterns. "Let's see now. 3 up from here and 2 across. Got it. Right. Now, you stand over there, Harry." He used an umbrella to tap the wall 3 times. They both watched as some of the bricks started to jostle a little. Then the topmost bricks started to loosen. They began to crumble and seemed to dissolve. A moment later, they were looking through an archway. Now, instead of a solid brick wall, there was a darkened passageway. It twisted around a corner ahead. "Welcome to Diagon Alley, Harry." Hagrid was smiling down at Harry's amazed look. Together they walked through the archway. Harry glanced backwards as he saw the bricks of the archway reforming into a solid ancient wall. As the last brick slid into place, the tunnel behind him went dark. Harry turned toward the light ahead and moved forward. When they rounded the corner, he found himself in a different world, at a different time. Instead of the slightly grimy London neighborhood that they'd just been in, he was now gazing upon a very old-looking cobbled street lined with shops. This place was astounding. He wished he had 4 pairs of eyes. His head kept spinning, first in one direction and then the other, as they made their way along this street. Outside of the nearest shop, there were cauldrons heaped together and stacked up outside its doors. A sign hanging above read, "Cauldrons, all sizes, copper, brass, pewter, silver, self-stirring, collapsible." You'll be needing to pick up one of those pretty soon, Harry. But first, we got to go to the bank and get your money.
Harry tried not to miss anything as they moved along. Sometimes they were in bright sunlight. At other times, when the alleyways were narrower, the light was dim. Harry's head kept turning as they passed the little shops, the stacks of things for sale outside them, and the oddly dressed people scurrying about. They walked past an old witch in black robes, standing with a rather regal-looking woman outside an apothecary. The witch was shaking her head and muttering,
"Dragon tongues! 15 sickles an ounce! They're out of their minds!"
Both women seemed to agree on the lack of judgment of those in charge. There was a soft hooting sound coming from a darkened doorway ahead. Above it was a sign saying, "Elop's Owl Emporium, Tawny, Screech, Barn, Brown, Snowy." Further along there was a window displaying broomsticks. Outside it were several boys about Harry's age, peering in intently. One of them said with awe, "There it is! The new Nimbus 2000! Oh, fastest ever!" And more shops. One selling robes, another selling telescopes along with some intricate-looking silvery instruments that Harry didn't recognize. There were windows displaying jars of things like bats' brains and eels' innards. There was a store showing rickety stacks of spell books, spools of parchment, quill pens, another store displaying rows and rows of potions. Finally, they turned a corner, and the street opened up.
"There it is. Gringotts," said Hagrid.
The building they were standing in front of was glistening white. It loomed over the other smaller shops along the street. Harry saw people coming and going through the burnished bronze doors as they climbed the marble stairs. Once inside, they came upon a pair of massive silver doors. To one side there was a plaque with an engraved warning.
"Enter, stranger, but take heed of what awaits the sin of greed. For those who take but do not earn must pay most dearly in their turn. So, if you seek beneath our floors a treasure that was never yours, thief, you have been warned, beware of finding more than treasure there."
They moved forward into the interior of the building. An official-looking goblin was sitting behind a huge desk, writing with a quill onto parchment. His eyes were alert. He was watching everything. He watched as people moved in and about the building. He watched the goblin tellers counting gold coins. Hagrid approached his desk.
"We'll be needing to go into the vaults," said Hagrid.
The goblin put down his pen, nodded without blinking, and gestured to proceed. His faint, cold smile gave Harry the creeps. Hagrid led the way toward the gated entry to the vaults.
"You'd be mad to try and rob this place, Harry. It's protected. Not just what we see here, you know."
He gestured toward the security bars and the goblins.
"But also by enchantments and spells, some of 'em hundreds of years old. If there was something that needed to be kept safe, really safe, it'd be brought here."